Welcome, everybody. This is episode 0, the introductory episode of our mental health and well-being podcast. So you're watching this at some point in the future from the time we're recording it. And some of you will know me already. I'm Pastor Richard. I am the Associate Pastor of Compassionate Care here at Jacksonville Presbyterian Church. And with me today, and will be with me each time on our podcast, is Kim Keys. Kim, please introduce
Hi.
yourself and why you're here.
I can. I'll do my best. I'm Kim Keys. I actually, some of you may know me from way back in the day. I don't know. I was attempting to lead worship there for a while. Those kinds of things, probably terribly. But I live in Boise, Idaho now. I'm a mental health counselor. I run a group counseling practice, have for years, and I just agreed to help out and give folks as much information and guidance as we possibly can as you guys sort of launch into this mental health support in the valley down there.
Absolutely. So, yes,
Mhm.
as the name suggests, this is our mental health and well-being ministry that we're endeavoring to get up and running and follow the Lord's
Mhm.
leading to be able to reach not only those people with a mental health condition or concern, but also the caregivers of those who have such issues. And let's be honest, we all fall into one of those categories somewhere along the
Sure
line,
do.
if not both of them. And so we really want to reach people with some hope, some help, and some ministry. And so basically, the point of this podcast is to share some information. And you'll be able to interact with us. We'll put an email address down in the description below if you have questions or comments or thoughts, and we'll get back to you as we go ahead of where we're going.
It sounds great. How did this whole thing come about for you?
Yeah, so it's been something that we've been talking about kind of behind the scenes for a very long time. Some of you will know we have a Stephen ministry in our church that started about 4 or 5 years ago, and we've had a number of people be helped by that one-on-one. And some of them have had these kind of concerns and situations. And so we felt that there was a need to expand our knowledge, our understanding, and our help in that way. Many of you know, and all of you who are listening or watching this will now know that I have had my own mental health concerns over the years. I was diagnosed with clinical depression a number of years ago and was helped through that, not only by my faith and by our church community, but also by medication and therapy. And so I'm a firm believer that all of those things can work together and not in competition. And so they're all vital and part of the process. And so we wanted to be more educated about how we can do that and come alongside. So last year, if you're watching this many years in the future, last year was 2024. We're currently in 2025. Rachel Allstab from our church and myself went to mental health and the church conference in Cleveland and gathered a whole bunch of information and contacts and really felt the Lord's leading that we should take the next step, whatever that next step would be. And it turned out to be part of our reading challenge in 2025 to read a book called Spurgeon's Sorrows. And if I'd been really prepared, I would have a copy here to show you. Maybe I'll put a link in the
Prepared.
description down below. But that was a really
We'll
great.
link it. We'll link
We'll
it
link
later.
it.
Be
We'll
fine.
link it later. That was a really great, short, informative read that our church read as a challenge. And then we had an evening where we came together and discussed the book and the topics that came out of it and the questions that we're going to be answering in weeks to come in future podcasts primarily came from that evening and what people were asking. And so we figured this was the best way to get that information to people, for us to be educated. And I am clearly not a mental health professional. Kim clearly is. So between us, we wanted to share that information with you as we step
Mhm.
forward to what the next step might be. So with all that being said, Kim, who is this podcast for? Who should be listening, watching, that kind of thing?
I love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of every human being on the planet could use a little bit of mental health help. I think the planet would be a better planet if we did. But I think really who it's aimed toward and who we're talking to are the helpers, right? It's people that are making a commitment, either caregivers or people who are trying to support caregivers or people who are trying to support people with mental health conditions. are probably going to be the folks who gain the most from the next, what is it, 3 episodes or so that we roughly have planned, at least for now.
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I say, these are being recorded in the spring of 2025, released in the summer of 2025 is the plan at this point. But whenever you're watching them, they're going to be helpful, useful, meaningful, that kind of thing. And again, we'll revisit and come back perhaps with some more as more people have questions. But talking about that, as I say, this is episode 0. This is just a little introductory one. What can we expect in episode 1, Kim?
Yeah, I think those questions that were sent out of that the evening after you all read the book, it was those they were such great questions, and I think as I was looking through them, we just grouped them into categories that kind of made sense to talk about together. And a lot of the questions seem to be about initiation skills, rapport building, how to sort of create what we call a warm handoff, warm entry, how to get people talking about difficult subjects. I think for a lot of folks stepping into the helping profession or volunteering or whatever, it gets pretty intimidating to just sort of tear the band-aid off and talk about some of these things. So we're going to talk about that in that first episode, how to initiate some of those difficult conversations and develop some pretty quick rapport with whoever it is that you're trying to help.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, very often this is a difficult subject to raise, whether you're suffering yourself, how do you talk about that? Or if you have somebody who's going through something, how do you bring that up? How do you interact with it in a way that's meaningful and helpful and not hurtful? And is honest, right? So that's kind of where we're going in episode 1. So that's going to be great. As I mentioned earlier, we'll have an email address there that you'll be able to send to and to interact with us if you've got questions or thoughts. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, super great. So we're really looking forward to this. The long-term aim, as I say, is perhaps some support groups will start in the fall of 2025 towards the end of the year. So depending on when you're watching this, they might be up and running, hopefully. And we have a wonderful team that we're putting together as well. So really want to thank you for checking out this short little intro episode. My plan at this stage is to have a playlist of these videos once all of them have been released. So you'll be able to just subscribe to that playlist and watch them or listen at your leisure. And hopefully they're helpful to you. So anything else before we sign off for today, Kim?
I don't think so, other than just thank you so much for the work you're doing on a kind of a personal, professional level. I know since about 2019, 2020, things have gotten really tough for providers in your area, in our area, because we know there's such a massive need and we can't meet it all. And so to have other people join in on the fight is pretty great, especially just giving of your time like that. So the professionals, myself included, really appreciate the work you guys are doing.
Well, wonderful. Well, we
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you in episode 1
Yep.
and beyond. All right. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. See you
Bye.
all later. Bye.